Hey everyone, there have been two new Predator movies out this year, so I figured it's a good time to update my AVP ranking. Two new movies, that means the franchises are tied in terms of number of entries. I did watch Alien Earth, but I'm not including that, where I'm just covering the movies here. If you want my thoughts on Alien Earth, I'll just give them to you now. It got off to a really strong start, and then it just went downhill. The ending was... What the fuck was that ending? Those are my thoughts on Alien Earth. I don't know what the hell I would rate it. I don't know if I'll spoil the new movies or not, but just in case, spoiler alert. Starting off at rock bottom, number 16, is Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. I hate this movie, but not quite as much as everyone else seems to. It's bad, but it has some redeeming qualities. For one, there's a lot more practical effects than you might think. The facehuggers, in particular, are practical. The problem is that it's so dark you can't tell. And that's the movie's biggest problem, is the lighting. You can't see shit, and I don't get why they did that. The trailers were properly lit. So what the hell happened between the trailer being released and the movie itself? Why did they think it was a good idea? The characters are somehow even flatter than they were in the first AVP, and the acting is even worse. But I could forgive all that if I could make... Okay, I don't know if I could forgive all that. But I could stomach all that if I could just see what's going on. The one area where this movie improves on the first AVP is the kills. The first movie was PG-13, and even in the unrated cut, they just added some not great CGI blood. Here, it's an R rating and there's an unrated cut. So, yeah, those kills are gnarly. I just wish I cared. My score is 1.5 out of 5. Number 15 is The Predator. This movie has a solid cast, and most of them are completely wasted. I love Shane Black. I love The Nice Guys, and I love all of his other stuff that I've seen, except this. It feels like he was just trying to make every character a wisecracking jokester like Hawkins, his character from the original. And also, as I've discussed in length in a previous video, one of the most tone-deaf portrayals of autism I've ever seen. The Uber Predator, or whatever it's called, is a cool concept, but the subpar CGI is doing it no favors, and those legs definitely fall under artistic license biology. There are some minor plot holes, more mediocre CGI, and entirely too many quips. Also, a lot of the action is just boring. Like, there's a fight in a football field, and it's mostly just guys standing around shooting. But, like, it's not even the fun version of that, like in the original Predator, it's just bland. However, some of the action is decent, at least. Some of the jokes are genuinely funny, like the Haunted Mansion bit.
Here, throw this on.
Is it just your imagination? Or is this haunted room actually stretching?
Every fucking time?
Or when she's waking up and they place bets on what she's gonna do. Those are, like, there's good humor in here, it's just most of the humor doesn't work. My score is 2 out of 5. Number 14 is Alien vs. Predator. What a fucking disappointment this was. The kills are neutered by the PG-13 rating, and in the unrated cut they just added some mediocre CGI blood. The characters have the depth of cardboard, the pacing is ass, and we have to wait way too long before we actually get some action. The action we do get is at least decent, and the acting is also decent, and the practical effects look great. Goddamn.
This is not your best work,
Mr. Anderson.
My score is 2.5 out of 5. Number 13 is Alien Resurrection. This is a weird-ass movie, but it's also kind of fun. The writing is bad, but not offensively so. The acting is hit and miss, and the cinematography makes some scenes feel like a goddamn music video. Winona Ryder is really good, and the rest of the acting is at least okay. The underwater chase scene is fantastic. In spite of the fact that none of them should be able to hold their breath that long. Well, okay, except for Call, because she's a robot, so it's fine, and Ripley, since she has, like, alien stuff in her, that's fine, but everyone else should have drowned. But otherwise, it's legitimately intense, and also this movie has some solid kills. My score is 2.5 out of 5. Number 12 is Alien 3. The theatrical cut of this film is a mess. The assembly cut is better. Not great, but it's good. The acting is hit and miss, but most of it is at least fine. It doesn't help that most of the characters are bald white guys who are hard to tell apart at a distance. The practical effects are solid, but it's not CGI. I don't remember what it is. The process they used to incorporate this version of the alien into scenes, it just looks off. I know it's not CGI. It was some other process, and it just doesn't look great. Although, I do love the new alien design, courtesy of it being quadrupedal thanks to being born from a beast. The plot is a little iffy, but it's not awful. I do appreciate that they took some big swings. Like, okay, I don't appreciate the big swing they took in the opening, because fuck all that. But I do appreciate some of the risks they took, like having Ripley get face-hugged, and I love the ending. Especially the assembly cut ending is better.
You're crazy. What are you doing?
If only it had ended there. My score is 3 out of 5. Number 11 is Prometheus. Look, say what you will about this movie. It is gorgeous, and it's very ambitious with all the big questions it's asking. Where did we come from? You sure you want to know? The acting is good overall, but most of the characters are underdeveloped. The visuals are fantastic, and the action we get is solid.
You ready, Chance?
Yes.
There are dumb character moments, but I will defend the Prometheus school of running away from falling objects. Should they have run to the side? Probably, yeah. But here's the thing. They're panicking. Humans don't make good decisions when they panic. Also,
Physics. Physics, eh? Physics. 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 Physics.
we can see the aerial view of the ship rolling. We can see how it landed. We can see when it's going to stop. They can't. We know more than they do. Also, even when they do run to the side, it stops rolling and then tips that way. So yeah, it's not as stupid as people make it out to be. The only reason Shaw survives is that she happened to land right next to a rock that's taller than her helmet. With that being said, the overall character stupidity here is more egregious than in previous movies because, unlike the ore-hauling crew and Space Marines in the previous films, the characters here were specifically chosen for this mission because they're the best in their fields. Some of it is in character, some of it not so much. Fifield getting lost is in character and justified. He's not a cartographer. He's a geologist. He studies rocks. He doesn't have access to the map that his pups made. That's not his fault. That's the company's fault for building the technology that way. Because you know it all comes from them. And that's why he and Milburn get lost after their comms are cut off. Also, this is something I learned more recently, from people who work with exotic animals for a living, and especially if they work in the wild, they will tell you that Milburn gushing over the worm creature is both unprofessional and very realistic. There are a lot of people who are experts in their field who will see this new adorable critter and go, "Oh my god, he's so cute, I want to touch it." Because humans are just like that. Also, some of the stupidity can be justified to the fact that these people are egotistical. They came all this way with the end game of maybe talking to their creators. So, there's that. My score is 3 out of 5. Number 10 is Alien Covenant. Honestly, this movie gets a bad rep. Plot is nothing new, the CGI is somehow a step down from Prometheus, but otherwise it's a step up. It still has the philosophical stuff from Prometheus, but there's more action, and I think it mostly works. But like I said, the CGI is a step down, and it's mostly the neomorphs. I dig their design, but they just look digital. You can just tell they're not there. Like when one of them is attacking, when it's attacking Kareen. Like the choreography and the CGI just do not match what's happening. Like she is slashing and stabbing with this knife where the neomorph is not, and it just looks bad. However, that's really my main complaint with the effects. The rest of it looks fine. Like the protomorph or xenomorph or whatever, that looks fine. That looks like it's actually there. The acting is good overall. Michael Fassbender is fantastic. The writing is definitely a step up. There's the scene where Daniels questions whether the new planet is too good to be true, and that scene has more character intelligence than most or all of Prometheus. The action we get is great, especially the climax when the protomorph, or I guess it's sort of the pre-climax, but when the protomorph is attacking the lander as they're leaving. It's like I said in The Predator, a lot of that movie's action is just guys standing around shooting, and it's boring. This is actually like a fun, creative action scene.
Forward engine! Starboard side! I'm gonna try and torch the fucker!
Shit, can't get it!
Hold tight, hold tight! I'm starting my climb!
And there's a good bit of continuity where the drone aliens are not as intelligent as the queen alien, and also this is like the less evolved xenomorphs are not as intelligent as the later ones. In Aliens, when the queen is fighting Ripley, It understands that she is the person and that the mech is just a tool. It is not actually her. It is attacking her, not the loader. Here, the protomorph cannot differentiate between Daniels and the big claw arm she's operating. I don't know, it's a good bit of continuity. Also, the coolest thing this movie does is a fantastic example of breaking old trends. In every other standalone movie, the opening has always been for building up the characters. I mean, Alien 3 was a slight exception, but that's a different thing. In Covenant, the characters are put in danger almost immediately, resulting in a casualty in record time. And it's great! It is such a delightful switch up of the usual formula, and I love it. My score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 9 is Predators. My one big problem with this movie is that Adrian Brody feels miscast. His performance is good, and he apparently beefed up for the role, but it wasn't quite enough. During the final fight, he looks like he's about 110 pounds soaking wet. Otherwise, this one's pretty solid. Alice Braga and Oleg Taktarov are good. Walton Goggins and Lawrence Fishburne are great. The rest of the cast is at least decent. I just wish that the characters had more depth.
Fuck me.
Wound one man. Make him suffer. Make him bleed. Make him call out for help. And set a trap. And kill those who come. I know because I have done this.
And I mean, it's kind of justified because they're still like, they don't trust each other, so they're not going to like go into their backstories all that much, at least not early on. But like, I don't know, it's like, it feels like the cast is like, they're diverse on the surface, but there's not a whole lot to them. The action is solid, the Predators themselves are fucking awesome, the pacing is a little uneven, it's kind of clear that the writers weren't sure what to have happen at certain story beats, but it doesn't take away too much. My score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 8 is Predator 2. This is a weird one, and my appreciation for it has grown over time. It is not a great movie by any means, but I fucking love it, largely just because of how batshit crazy it is. You have Danny Glover playing a cop who's more Riggs than Murtaugh. There's the fact that seemingly everyone and their mother is packing heat.
No need for that.
Whoa!
Get the hell away from me! I know how to use this thing!
You got a cap
Don't make me use this thing! Come on, bigger than yours!
I'll take that.
Hold it, please!
We're in trouble now.
Nobody move!
And then there's dialogue like this.
Which means you're cutting off my dick and shoving it up my ass.
The action is solid, the acting is good, and the Predator is fucking awesome. Score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 7 is Alien Romulus. Fun fact, I won't give it away, just in case you haven't seen this movie, but the last human death in this movie, the way they die is what Republicans think the COVID vaccine will do to you. This isn't quite the breath of fresh air that Prey was, but it's still a breath of fresh air. Fede Alvarez, for all his faults, has always been good at creating characters with depth, and this movie is no exception. Case in point, Navarro. As shown in the trailer, she is the first to bite it, but we get some characterization from her. At first, she seems alright. But when... Here's the fun thing. I didn't know this because I don't speak Mandarin, but people who do have pointed it out. Early on, when she's praying in Mandarin, she asks her ancestors to protect the 5 of them, which means that Bjorn isn't the only one who's bigoted against synthetics. The acting in this movie is just so damn good. Isabella Merced and David Johnson are the standouts, but everyone is giving it their all. There's a bit of CGI that's not very good, but apart from that one bit, the rest of the effects are solid, and this movie is just fucking gorgeous. Like with the climax of Covenant, there are some really creative set pieces here. I mean, sure, there are some obviously you can nitpick. Like the zero-G, A, it probably shouldn't have worked that way. B, the body, like the chunks of body just kind of disappear, and it's just the blood left behind. That's probably not what should have happened, but if you can overlook it's not that hard to overlook, and the set piece is fantastic, and like they do stuff later with like the elevator, and it's so good. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 6 is Predator, Killer of Killers. My only problem with this movie is that Torres just kind of feels not too quippy, because it makes sense for his personality. It just seems, I don't know, his quips aren't as good as I think the writers think they are. But otherwise, this is, Dan Trachtenberg is the best thing that has happened to this franchise since the 80s. I love the theming here where each Predator is different to like match its opponents. The one that fights the Vikings is like probably bigger than the Uber Predator from the 2018 movie. It is, or okay, if not bigger, then at least bulkier. And historically speaking, Vikings were the biggest people on Earth. So that makes sense. A brute to fight the brutes. The one in the Japan storyline, like, put extra points into stealth. And that, honestly, I think the Japan storyline might be my favorite bit of the movie, because it's done with almost no dialogue. And it's, I mean, I loved No One Will Save You, and I just saw Azrael, which was also fantastic. It's really hard to tell a story with little to no dialogue, and so when it's done well, I'm a sucker for that. And then the third one is probably the most fun of the segments, because it's a Predator. The Predator who's, back to what I was actually talking about. The Predator who's in the World War II setting is a fucking dogfighter, and that's pretty cool. And he even adapts, so he's not getting trophies from the people, he's getting trophies from their airplanes, which in this case is the engine. That was a fun detail. Also, one thing I liked, and that I didn't even know this until someone else pointed it out, I didn't know who the Vichy were when I watched this movie. I have since learned that they were not Japanese, as I assumed. They were French pilots who sided with the Nazis during World War II. So, cowards. So, yeah, fuck them. I don't know, the one-liners don't always work, but it's still just a fun segment. And then we get Act 4. And I won't spoil too much, but there is a fourth part to this movie after those 3 segments, and you should absolutely watch it. Also, congratulations on Michael Biehn. I'll spoil this because it doesn't matter. Congratulations on Michael Biehn for being the 3rd actor to be killed by a Terminator, Xenomorph, and Predator. I'm counting it. Even though the Xenomorphs didn't technically kill him directly, they were still responsible for his death in Alien 3, so I'm counting it. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 5 is Predator Badlands. Yeah, like I said, Dan Trachtenberg is the best thing to happen to this franchise since the 80s. Mainly just because he comes up with so many creative action sequences. Here is a tomahawk on a rope, Let's build a fight around that. Here is a robot who's been ripped in half. Let's build a fight around that. Here is a field of razor grass. Let's build an action sequence around that.
Where'd you stop? Let's get out of here.
警察聽說喎。
It's so fucking cool. And I love that we get this perspective flip. I think this is the only movie in either franchise where there are no human characters present. Everyone is either a synthetic or an alien. And yet, it works. And some people have decried, I think is the word, some people have dunked on this Predator design, completely missing the point that our hero here is the runt of the litter. He is repeatedly stated to be like underdeveloped by Predator standards. And so basically that has resulted in him having to be more pragmatic in his fighting approach. And I won't spoil this one I won't spoil because it's brand new and you should absolutely see it. It is fantastic, and I didn't even think about this, but someone pointed out that Elle Fanning, her character Thea, is basically a mixture of C-3PO and Donkey from Shrek. And as soon as I saw that, it's like, oh my god, you're right. No wonder I loved her character. And I won't spoil this too much. Go see it. It's fantastic. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 4 is the original Predator. All the best action movies are more than just an action movie. Lethal Weapon deals with heavy themes like PTSD and suicidal thoughts. This movie starts off as your like commando-style action movie with the team wiping out the guerrillas with no casualties, all just to set you up for the bait and switch as you watch these badasses get picked off one by one.
Dame la mano.
And it's delightful. The acting is as good as it needs to be. The writing is awesome. The music is awesome. Like I said, the first fight against the guerrillas, it is your standard 80s action sequence, but I can forgive it because it's the bait in the bait and switch. All the action after that is these 80s action heroes getting picked off one by one. Kevin Peter Hall, goddamn, he was the Predator in this movie and the first sequel, and I think he was a dancer. I don't remember what kind, but he legitimately is that tall. I think he's like 7 feet tall or something like that. Arnold's what, 6'2", 6'3"? And yet it is always so funny seeing images of him next to people who are taller than him. For all the people who complain about Naru in Prey defeating the Predator, well, no, that's not how you do it. Dutch had to use, like, strength and guns. Motherfucker! Have you even seen this movie? He doesn't kill it with strength and guns. The whole point of the movie is that strength and guns are not enough. He kills it with his intelligence and trickery. Y'all are the same people who watch American Psycho and come away idolizing Patrick Bateman, or the people who watch Fight Club and come away thinking Tyler Durden is the coolest motherfucker on the planet. It's like, you're not supposed to idolize them, you idiots! I'm getting off topic. This movie is fantastic. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 3 is Prey. Can you say course correction, boys and girls? Good! This is exactly the breath of fresh air that the Predator franchise needed after Shane Black's attempt. Amber Midthunder is fantastic, and the rest of the cast is all solid. The script is tight, prioritizing characters over the action scenes without skimping on the action. There are some great setups and payoffs, a lot of which I only noticed on a rewatch, and it's great. Like I said with Badlands, creative fucking action sequences. Here is a tomahawk on a rope. Let's build a fight scene around that. Here is something similar to quicksand. Let's build a fight scene around that. And also, this is like the most realistic portrayal of a Predator up until this point, because they're not perfect. They're not infallible. In every fight against a decent opponent, the Predator takes at least a couple hits. Even if he wins, he still takes hits. He's tough. What was it Sergeant Johnson said?
They're tough, but they ain't invincible.
I also love that we finally get to see the Predator actually tracking its prey like a real hunter. That was friggin' cool. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 2 is the original Alien. This might be the greatest sci-fi horror movie of all time. Almost definitely the best space-based sci-fi horror movie of all time. If you count The Thing as sci-fi horror, then obviously I think The Thing is the greatest movie of all time. So anything is gonna fall short of that. But I don't know. This movie is a masterpiece. The acting is solid across the board. The characters are believably smart based on what we know about them. The music is great. The writing is great. Ridley Scott does such an outstanding job of creating a tense atmosphere.
Check that out, Lambert. You may be getting interference.
Dallas, are you sure there is no sign of it? I mean, it is there. It's gotta be around there.
Dallas?
All right.
Am I clear, Lambert? I want to get the hell out of here.
Oh, God, it's moving right towards you. Move, get out of there. Moving towards you, move. Dallas, move, Dallas. Move, Dallas, get out. Oh, no, not that way, the other way, God.
Dallas?
No.
Take it easy. Dallas?
And I love that there's no info dumps here. There is no expositional world building. We are just placed into this world. We don't know how common robots are, so we don't know how big of a surprise it is that Kane is a robot. Kane, not Kane. Obviously, it's a surprise that Ash is a robot, but we don't know how significant that is because there's no unnecessary exposition. And yet it works beautifully. Like, there's... Just when they're going down to the planet, they take some damage on that landing, but it's treated like this is just another day on the job. The chestburster scene is genuinely one of the best scares in any horror movie. And it's helped by the fact that the cast didn't know what was going to happen. They knew something was going to happen, but no one they had never seen the effect ahead of time, so they didn't know what to expect. So especially like Veronica Cartwright, her reaction is genuine. She's not acting in that scene. That is genuine. My score is 5 out of 5. Finally, my number 1 is Aliens. This is top tier James Cameron. It is a great blend of action and horror. The acting is great. The action is awesome. The writing is solid. And even the characters who aren't relatable or likable are at least fun to watch. Like, Hudson is annoying, but god damn it, Bill Paxton put his whole ass into that performance, and he deserves respect for it. He understood who his character was, and he fully embodied that annoying-ass man. And yeah, the movie is better for it. The creature effects are top-notch. The final fight is fantastic.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Score is 5 out of 5. Hey everyone, what's your ranking? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that. If you don't like the video, tell me why. Try to be constructive. Subscribe anyway, and make sure you turn on notifications. That way, you'll be notified when I upload a new video, and you can watch that and tell me why that one sucks. Or, if you're feeling nice, you can tell me what I did well. Because, you know, I don't get a ton of feedback on these, so I'll take anything I can get. That's all for now. Stay safe in these crazy times.